actual may deny the mark, not likely if you believe in commercial Santa. December 2022. A war of attrition looks no more than a series of unfortunate events, if done right. You can see if you look, but you were taught to overlook it, just like capitalization and capitalization. So, the trick seems to be asking the right person, the right question. It appears, manifests, that we are not what we think we are. The all caps written name graven in the stone of dead. We are Barney Rubbles making gravel under the Masonic Company White House. And, the foreign company treasure. Why, is now a department from us. What is the color of law to a man? What is a human, and why is that a color off of man? What is honor and standing, and who holds any in deceitful practice? Why must a man be forced into a human incorporation that steals his soul? Which is the living one, AYE, or I? The lieutenant commander teachers in contract officer training told us that, you must know that Admiralty law of contracts was so crooked and caused so much trouble internationally under the SEE oversight, that the Universal Commercial Code, UCC, was written to assist in the problem. But it was written by the same Union-jacked raiders in foreign bar, emphasis added with gusto. The birth certificate starts the process of foreign ownership as mortmain debtor, not creditor owner, because the national debt by war has created our national slavery to debt, under the war of attrition. Remember, Jesus came in truth and peace, but not for peace, until it is finished. Rule, here is of war for consumption. It's the company business of wealth relocation up. A term means, move the wealth and worth up, not down to the needed. It is defined. Our law was not refined in truth as honor demands, but defined black and bad standing. It is not honor that holds the authority or jurisdiction over courts and defined law, as that was rejected by the example of Daniel, where the attorneys were thrown in the lion's den for their deceptive legal practice of word art warfare. Our situation is that we have been led into severe debt without full contact disclosure, and you have no actual contract with any government, other than your birthright, or by your knowing consent to thought control government, IT, because IT made you a core in divers human ownership of others, and never telling you that your labor went to the debt, while the currency curtain allows all to appear okay. I suppose you can say that it started way back, about the time of Heliopolis, when those that had accumulated wealth attempted to create a system of control to govern the people into their desire of creating themselves a vast empire called the world. The first attempt failed because the wealthy empire wanted to control everything without giving anything to their power base, now slaves. No wonder it failed. Today, it appears as the New World Order. What are the right questions? You have to look back to the foundation of the society to understand the details, but it gets boring and confusing, because those are tools used against us. We are so indoctrinated in it, while it works around us, seeing it yet not understanding. The first question, is truth required for justice? The First Amendment indicates to me that it is, but the process of attrition has converted it to something else. No fact or truth will be tried in a court of law, by the process rules. The Supreme Court said in 11-781, that their poison fruit was not ripe yet. Why must we wait for that fruit of untruth to ripen? How are facts and truths to be treated in a court of law, or is it a court of law? Why call the statute, policy, and rules the law, when they are company wishes, bank and banking? What is judged in a court of law if not on the facts and truths? Are facts and truths the same? Is a foreign language, legalese, used in our legal process, in a foreign language, English, in our America? What did you learn in school? That a jury could protect you if the law would not. Does the Constitution hold any law or rule? Was Jefferson in dishonor by the Danbury Baptists when he told Congress to shape it like clay, when the constitutional contract indicated opposite? Why did the preamble to rights indicate that the state attorneys did not trust the national attorneys? Why is the preamble to rights not a part of the company president's copy of the Constitution? Do you have rights, or have they been displaced by legal? Are you living and dead, consenting to being a son of perdition with no access to afterlife, by the will of the Almighty, or by the deceptions called legal? What incorporation is charging a commercial taxable privilege, as those are free to men? What incorporation, as incorporations have no choses for action? What legal entity, what person, and what meets and bounds property description was process method converted to address and possession as sons of perdition? We see that the questions reveal what was not the will of the people by contract, but instead, the conversion to the wide path, by the foreign at wealth taken by the same deceits, in practice from our own ancestors, same tricks. Advising the judge of bad behavior and criminal acts goes unrecognized for a bondage, and no person speaks in his court, as already dead, unless notified in advance. 4. Special privilege of living is above any dead court seance, called trade in truth, was displaced by attrition warfare in legal, slowly decaying honor as choses, for interest in usury commerce, theft, not trade in truth as contracted. Without truth there is none in honor, and the surety is the trouble, as you cannot perfect in surety as capital, what was conceived in fraud, against the obligations of contract. What we can, as a Grand Inquisitor jury, IES, is cast the mortem spirit on the SEE of lawful waters to return it cleaned. You see, you can walk back on the frozen assets in surety water legal. See, it is all trick wording as process to perdition by persons, and we signed up without signing, because of no full disclosure in the land piracy called law. You must see the SEE as a sea of confusion, whereof means constructive/intrinsic process fraud and business of govern as a thought control with currency for money stolen. It wants to balance by evil, the beast mindset of Pied Piper for worth sought, now turned a Jesuit theater empire show like Hollywood, but real by legal, now league called Union, Legion foreign, a wily foe in angels' garments. Why hide meanings in de find, when refined in truth, was the solution? It is the Jesuit order of Protestantism, protest church-state from within church-state, that says churchy state is not lawful, but is the process, the best money can buy in currency theft of bankruptcy rating. It is finished as a work, or it is consumed, as a prize, as an entire nation of indoctrination. Who man's infested in our almighty destiny for a wink of time, may be for progress, but must be evaluated for direction. From time to time, our public servants need to be reminded of their oath to us, not the company rating in dishonor. Our Republican honor, promised by contract, has decayed into a legal abuse syndrome trance in nasty governance, lasting trouble that, once defined, can be refined in truth by jury spirit. Here. The RICO fraudulent inducement exposed in transmittal by letters, and also letters with contact green cards, of the lasting democracy raid on our republic, go unanswered against duty. What we missed the mark on, a jury can correct as inquisitor trial, by jury not a jury trial, so we can reset legal, to necessary and needful. Juries can also assign criminality to oath actors in denials of pay enrichment frauds, by oath failure under the valid restated oath, due to fraud in contract, by empire foreign. The exposed Crown Mortemont scheme at our treasure. Why, in labor fruit is not a poison fruit, schooled at school, did not show us legal interpretation error, lie, or intentional misinterpretation, lie, was the construct of the constitution of debt instead of protection, benefits as speed bumps to failure at perdition. That is not my ticket, as I am bound to the narrow path, not forced wide. We are just here to protect the rights and righteous, as contracted, not forced to error for traitors at legion. Note that the rule of law also holds punishment for failure of oath and duty. The oath of office, to contracted surety fraud and dishonored, was gained by the international empire confidence/surety racket. The Jesuit Judeo/British crown has empire infiltrated from the top in deceptive practices, never authorized here. Liberalism condemns liberals, because they choose to change, instead of hold the honor trust. Loose with the truth, kills the honor and spirit, and without the spirit, one is just a soul as a human, adrift without end goal, but what is gained in valued consideration of debt, killed by possessions, not by labor property and honor. The money changer enterpridolary is always usury driven by deceit legal fraud. That is the occult war that Almighty God denied and Jesus piled coals on its head through the tribe of Judea, as the 10 tribes had already left the law changers. The empire of power can never pay back the torturers and suffrage in war and duress that they have caused since before 325 AD, as roaming in commerce from truth, demanded is theft of property for possession of empire of evil. It is not the Almighty that authorized that, but the destroyer. In spirit, property of fruitful labor goes to inheritance, but in dishonor, possession stays with the soul, grounded to earth as spellbound. The New World wants all the Americas, but not the Americans, to go with it. Since the war is occulted, the fiduciary assignment must not only account for my accounting, but also my ancestral accounting, as total worth of my estate. If a jury, IES, cannot correct the error in failing truth for justice, then they must negotiate me out of all the contracts so that I can clear the name of I, suffering in the world attrition attack as occulted since Christ, or before, schooled and tooled at institutions, is quiet weapons for silent wars, that does not ever want to answer to it, because they know it and you don't. If I give you $1, that means I own one less, and you own the crown another one from your trust, as nothing is forgiven. Souls in despair attract possessions. The new covenant of truth and honor, as the new spirit was attacked by the old Jesuit, consortium of letter law error, seen as Zion by occulted approach, it is not of the new covenant but of the old mask of rule. We must correct the usufruct in our good faith and credit, to empty the treasure, why, and moonshot the credit debt to failure. The old world, called New World, wants to order the money changers to harvest the labor fruit and use currency of debt to overcome by legal attorn, not lawful to create a fiction, to steal by poison fruit, that which was created in honor. It is wrong to allow government to make private banking as a final solution of consumption, when the public trust is ours, so why not a public bank with truth as philosophy, instead of privates at deceitful in practice, experiment? That is the only way we can pursue to restore and honor our worth from the defined human dead legal fiction book of the dead, now resurrected to life. So the mortem on account is closed on your side upon your death confirmation from your previous birth to the book of the dead, and the excess worth is absorbed by the crown, and your pursuit of happiness does not transfer to your offspring, but the occulted oppression does. Garst contractors demand the error be corrected, and it appears that the error cannot correct itself, because of the pirates not wanting their ship to be seen as titled and patented in fraud. When in doubt, whup this out. They cannot answer the questions from fraud, which means they concur, that a crossbar hotel is suitable for them, until a jury clears them. The demand is that the court officer remove the court officials, due to treason against rights due to color of law attack of foreign empire occulted for sinister purpose. Our situation proves our plight, and we have to protect our neighbors as self, because the pirates on our land will not. In spite of adversity, we will secure honor, or it will kill us. Immunity claim overall. Remember, life everlasting is more than possession here, for property there. It is not the Almighty God that helps us through church-state occulted, but that fishy one. Garst contractor, Benny Matthew, Gover, failed birthright trust owner / executive director. Ecclesia, circle the young and protect from the outside attack, time to circle the wagons. Who man is the color of honor, as a relation of Darwin, while men hold honor in trust of truth.